Leo was a children's book illustrator living in San Francisco. After years of struggling to make ends meet, he had finally landed long-term contracts with a few publishing houses. The senior Ors, a group of warm, motherly women, adored him for his diligence and polite nature. They were always trying to set him up on dates, not knowing he was gay and couldn't possibly take them up on their well-intentioned offers. He would just smile and say he was waiting for the right person. His sexuality had never been a choice, simply a fact of his life. He'd never been in love, but he was certain of the figures that populated his dreams. He was single. Early in his San Francisco days, he'd seen a same-sex couple holding hands on the Muni, an ordinary sight that gave him a surge of hope. He mustered the courage to visit a club in the Castro, but the pulsing, sweat-slicked atmosphere felt alien and transactional. He fled and never tried that route again. So he remained alone, his life measured by the changing seasons. He drew sketches under the city's cool, foggy skies and added color as the leaves turned gold in Golden Gate Park. His life was serene, and yet he carried a quiet anticipation for the future. This feeling encouraged him to greet the world with a smile, because the person he was waiting for could appear at any moment, and he wanted his first expression to be a genuine one. Lately, however, his confidence had begun to waver. He stood now before the glass doors of his apartment building, the Azure Point, practicing a smile in the reflection. His lips felt stiff, his posture tense. The lobby was empty, but it felt charged with potential. He watched his own reflection, urging himself to relax. After a moment, he swiped his key fob. The door chimed and unlocked. He crossed the polished marble floor, his heart beating a little faster with each step toward the elevators. The indicator lights were dark. Both cars were waiting on the ground floor. No one was coming down. A small sigh of disappointment escaped him. The probability of seeing the man today had once again dropped to zero. Inside the elevator, he stared at the closing doors, offering a silent, final prayer. There were 5 seconds left. Enough time for a flash of a sleeve, a strand of hair. He would have hit the open button without hesitation. But nothing appeared. The stainless steel doors sealed shut, reflecting his solitary figure in the muted light as the numbers climbed. He leaned against the wall and let out a long breath. It was okay, he told himself. There was always tomorrow. As long as he lived here, he just had to be patient. His optimism was a professional necessity. His world was filled with the charming logic of fairy tales, a mindset that had kept him boyish and hopeful. He believed in fate, even after more than 40 days of fruitless waiting. It was fate, after all, that had brought him here. It was the afternoon his landlord in the Mission District had called to say the building was being sold. Just before that, he'd been at his publisher's office, venting quietly to his senior or Sarah, about his cramped, noisy apartment. As he spoke, Sarah happened to be scrolling through a real estate website, her ears catching his complaint in a moment of silence between pages. It just so happened that an hour earlier, Sarah's old college friend had called in a panic. The friend and her husband, retired professors, had just finished renovating a condo at Azure Point when their daughter in Melbourne went into premature labor. They were flying out immediately and needed someone to house sit and look after their ragdoll cat for 6 months. The rent was a fraction of the market rate, more a fee for a caretaker than a true lease. The normal rent was 4 times what Leo could afford. Sarah had insisted on taking him to see the place that very evening. Standing outside the Azure Point, watching Teslas and Porsches glide into the garage, Leo felt utterly out of his depth. This wasn't a place for him. He preferred real neighborhoods with corner bodegas and old men walking their dogs. He was on a small wooden bridge crossing a decorative pond, about to tell Sarah he couldn't do it, when a silver Infiniti sedan drove into view. It slowed smoothly before reversing into a covered spot. The late afternoon sun illuminated the driver, a man with a profile so perfect it seemed unreal. His left hand rested on the steering wheel, the cuff of his blue shirt neatly rolled up his forearm. He was smiling, talking to someone in the back seat. As the car turned, his handsome face came into full view. Leo's breath caught in his throat. The man got out, tall and impeccably dressed even after a day's work. He opened the back door and lifted out a small child, who wrapped his arms around the man's neck and kissed his cheek. For Leo, who had lost his family at a young age, the image of this man, this perfect father, was a profound shock. It was more than attraction. It was a deep, resonant yearning. This man was part of a family, a complete and happy one. He represented everything Leo had ever wanted. In that moment, Leo turned and took the keys from Sarah. He wouldn't disturb them, he promised himself. He just wanted to live nearby, to feel the warmth of their world. The elevator chimed, arriving at the 8th floor. Leo's apartment was 8012A. His doormat, a whimsical image of a chipmunk from one of his books, contrasted sharply with the severe, gray mat at 8012B. He noted that his neighbor's Casablanca lilies were now completely withered. He made a face at their door and went inside, where his ragdoll Machi greeted him with a theatrical flop. After attending to his cat, he began making dinner, a simple shrimp and asparagus risotto, its gentle bubbling a comforting sound in the quiet apartment. Later, as the sky darkened, he remembered his plants. He opened the front door and felt it bump against something. A small, muffled sob came from the hallway. The motion-activated lights flickered on, revealing a little boy sitting on his chipmunk doormat, looking up with wide, tear-filled eyes. The boy, Noah, explained that his nanny had left a note on the door about a family emergency and never picked him up from preschool. He'd wandered the neighborhood for hours, too scared to go into his dark apartment alone. Leo's heart went out to him. He immediately brought the boy inside. Noah sat at the dining table while Leo served him the risotto and a fried egg. After dinner, Noah's eyes lit up at the sight of Leo's picture books. He immediately recognized the chipmunk from the doormat on the cover of a book titled The Chipmunk's Dream. He shyly asked if Leo would read it to him. Leo instantly agreed. With Noah curled up beside him and Machi purring at their feet, Leo began the story. Just as he was finishing, a cheerful Pokemon ringtone cut through the quiet. Noah's face brightened. He told Leo it was his dad and answered a small, kid-friendly smartphone. A few minutes later, he brought the phone over to Leo, who was washing dishes. Noah relayed that his dad wanted to know why Leo had made dinner. His hands covered in soap, Leo gestured for Noah to place the phone on his shoulder, and he held it in place with his head. He offered a polite hello into the receiver. A deep, warm voice, tinged with sleep and amusement, responded, "Hi, this is Noah's father, Daniel." It was the voice. It was the voice that belonged to the man from the Infinity. The sound of it, so intimate and close to his ear, sent a jolt through him. The ceramic bowl slipped from his hands and shattered in the sink. He could barely stammer a reply, explaining that he'd found a note on the door saying the nanny had gone home. Daniel's voice was calm. He thanked Leo profusely for looking after Noah. He sounded exhausted. Daniel admitted he'd been worried. He explained that a smart home security system was installed in the apartment, which he now felt was inadequate. He said the device, a sleek white pod, was one of his company's prototypes. It was designed to monitor the home and identify threats. He confessed that the system had flagged Leo as a level 1 unknown when he'd approached the door earlier. Noah had then run into Leo's arms, and the system, observing the child's joyful reaction, immediately reclassified Leo as a safe object. Leo was stunned, both by the revelation of the high-tech surveillance and the casual way Daniel spoke of it. The man on the phone, the man from the car, was a tech genius. It all clicked into place. Daniel sounded apologetic, then asked Leo what he should be called. Leo, flustered, gave his name. Daniel repeated it, the sound of his own name from those lips making Leo's cheeks burn. The conversation felt surreal. He was talking to the man from his daydreams, all while standing over a sink full of broken dishware. Daniel explained he was out of the country on business for 2 weeks and was now in a bind with the nanny gone. Later that night, Noah, having been told by his father to be a big boy and sleep in his own apartment, stood at his dark doorway, terrified. He had agreed, wanting to be the good son his father expected, but the oppressive blackness of the empty apartment was too much. He stood frozen, his courage failing him. "Leo," he whispered, his voice trembling. "What do I do?" Leo, who had been watching from his own doorway, didn't hesitate. He crossed the hall and scooped the small boy into his arms. He told Noah that he had promised to read him a bedtime story, and a promise was a promise. When Noah worried about disobeying his father, Leo cleverly pointed out that he had made the promise to Leo first. Noah, relieved, threw his arms around Leo's neck. After helping Noah pack a small bag, Leo found himself being lectured by the 4-year-old on the complex array of bath products. "This is the shampoo, and this is the conditioner," Noah explained with grave importance. "And that one is the body wash. Daddy says you have to use them in the right order." In the bathroom, a bubble-filled war ensued, ending with Leo wrapping a giggling, sushi-rolled Noah in a towel. Tucked into bed, Noah pointed to the strange, cocoon-like device in a corner of Leo's living room, which he'd seen from the hallway. "What is that?" Leo, remembering his own encounter with the tech in Daniel's apartment, asked Noah about Little Q. Noah proudly explained that Little Q was a robot his daddy and his friend had built to protect him. It was a less advanced model than the one at home, one Daniel had given Leo's Orse friend long ago. He added that his daddy's job was to make robots even smarter so they could tell who was good and who was bad, and take care of the bad people. Leo shivered, remembering the red light. The next morning, Leo woke up exhausted, his sleep filled with bizarre dreams of attacking robots and his fantasy man. At the breakfast table, Noah chattered happily while devouring a bowl of oatmeal with berries. Leo then took him to preschool on the back of his old, rickety bicycle, a mode of transport Noah found endlessly fascinating. The cool morning air, the rumble of the wheels, the blur of street art on the walls. It was a world away from the silent, swift ride in his father's car. At the preschool, the director asked who had brought him. Noah proudly announced that his brother had, since his daddy was away. Leo explained the situation, and after filling out some emergency contact forms, he rode to the local market. With a child to feed, his usual frugal shopping habits went out the window. He bought organic eggs, fresh fish, and the best cuts of meat. He spent so long picking out the perfect carrots that the woman at the stand asked if his wife was pregnant. Leo, flustered, said he didn't have a wife, but he did have a kid, an answer which only earned him a look of deep disapproval. Riding back, his basket full, he passed the parking garage. He scanned the rows of cars as he always did. The silver Infiniti was not there. A familiar pang of disappointment hit him. He was becoming a temporary father to the man's son, yet the man himself remained an almost mythical figure, seen only once. That night, another call came from Daniel. This time, Leo was prepared. He propped the phone on his shoulder while he started prepping ingredients for dinner. Daniel's voice, still warm and laced with fatigue, asked how Noah's day was. Leo reported on the trip to school, the sticker Noah got for telling the chipmunk story to his class, and the hearty dinner he'd eaten. He found himself speaking with an easy confidence, the awkwardness of their first call fading. Then, Daniel brought up the topic of payment. He offered a generous sum for the 2 weeks, an amount that made Leo drop his knife. It was more than he made in a month. They haggled, with Leo trying to lower the price and Daniel insisting on raising it until Leo finally surrendered, flustered and overwhelmed by the man's generosity. His newfound status as a highly paid nanny made him feel a new sense of responsibility. He decided to ask Daniel about Noah's usual preferences. He learned, to his dismay, that Daniel didn't know his son's favorite food. "That's not right," Leo said, his tone shifting from employee to concerned caregiver. "You have to know these things." "I don't have time," Daniel replied, a clear note of impatience in his voice. The sharpness of it stung. Leo took a deep breath. He told Daniel that he understood he was busy, but that little cue, the robot, couldn't replace a father. He explained that Noah, for all his good behavior, was desperate for attention and affection. He relayed how Noah had cried at the door, how he clung to Leo's side, how a child's quiet obedience can sometimes be a sign of loneliness, not maturity. He spoke of the children he'd known, how the happiest ones were often the most troublesome, because they felt safe enough to act out. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. The air crackled with unspoken tension. Finally, Daniel's voice came, flat and distant. "I see. Do you?" Leo pressed, his heart aching for both the distant father and the little boy painting quietly in the other room. "You need to spend time with him, Daniel. He needs you." He heard a sigh, a sound heavy with a weariness that seemed to stretch across the thousands of miles between them. "Thank you, Leo. I have to go." The line went dead.